The manager's face went pale as his phone rang again. In the middle of the bank lobby, eyes watched as he stammered, nodded, then quietly turned to his staff. One by one, they were told to leave, fired, right there. Minutes earlier, they had refused to serve her, questioned her identity, doubted her success. Now, everything was unraveling. Customers stared. Phones recorded. The woman they tried to humiliate had just turned the entire branch upside down. This is the story of what happens when quiet racism meets power. Welcome story. Loverswear. Are you watching from? Comment your city. Asterisk, it was a crisp Monday morning when Mariah Jennings, a 38-year-old black tech CEO, pulled into the parking lot of her local bank. Dressed in a navy power suit, she sipped her oat milk latte and mentally rehearsed her board presentation. Mariah wasn't just successful, she was a trailblazer. From a single-parent home in Detroit to running a multi-million-dollar software company in Atlanta. Her journey had been anything but easy. But she'd made it. The branch was one she'd used for years, quiet, routine, predictable. Just a quick signature on a wire transfer before her flight to New York. Nothing out of the ordinary. But as she stepped through the sliding glass doors, something felt off. The way the teller looked at her. The subtle shift in tone. She didn't know it yet, but in the next 10 minutes, her calm morning would erupt into a storm that would go viral across the nation. Asterisk, Mariah approached the counter with a confident smile. Portfolio in hand. The young teller glanced at her. Then back at the screen, her expression turning oddly stiff. I'm here to authorize a wire transfer, Mariah said, sliding over her ID and business documents. The teller didn't touch them. One moment, she mumbled, disappearing into a back room. Minutes passed, people came and went. Mariah's smile slowly faded. Then, a middle-aged manager emerged, eyes cold and cautious. We'll need additional verification, he said flatly. Your transaction has been flagged. Mariah raised an eyebrow. Flagged. I've done this same wire 10 times this year. He didn't blink. Do you really own this company? The question hit her like a slap. Around her, customers turned their heads. Excuse me, she asked, voice low but sharp. The manager stepped back slightly. We've had fraud attempts lately. You don't match the profile of our usual business clients. Her breath caught. It wasn't just about business. It was about her skin, her presence, her success. I want to speak to someone above you, she demanded. We are the final authority here, he smirked. Mariah stood frozen. Years of building, of striving to be taken seriously, unraveling. In one humiliating moment, inside a bank, where she held 6 figures in accounts. Then came the final straw. Security approached. Ma'am, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Her blood boiled. Not yet knowing, they had just made the costliest mistake of their careers. Asterisk, Mariah's heart pounded as the security guard blocked her path. Hand hovering near his belt knot, a weapon, but a gesture heavy with intimidation. She stood there, a CEO being treated like a criminal, her credentials ignored, her dignity dismantled. In a flash of resolve, she pulled out her phone not to record, but to call. Get me legal, she said sharply. Within seconds, her company's general counsel was on the line. Then she called the regional bank director, who happened to owe her a favor. Fire everyone involved, she said coldly. The manager's face drained of color as his phone rang right there on the spot. One by one, heads began to turn. Terminations were happening. In real time, the same bank that questioned her now begged for silence. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, Don't forget to give it a like, it really helps. Mariah walked out of that bank with her head high, not just because justice was served, but because she had claimed her worth in a place that tried to strip it away. But the damage was deeper than a failed transaction. It was a reminder that even success doesn't shield Black excellence from suspicion. Her story went viral, sparking national conversations about racism in corporate spaces, about dignity denied in daylight. She didn't want pity. She wanted change. This wasn't about revenge. It was about accountability. Because how many Mariahs are turned away silence without a platform to fight back? Racism doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers behind desks and smiles. With policies. So, what would you have done in her shoes? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.